Um, for those who have been asking, how exactly do we get to do this? The matter is straightforward. Ninas is inviting all of those who reject what Nigeria is dishing out to them, whether it's young people that are fleeing in all kinds of directions, or those who seek, to have republics of their own, or Odua Republic, Biafra Republic, or those who seek just good governance. None of those things will happen under this constitution, and the politicians will continue to go to election. But you are the one that will go to vote in that election. You are the one that will live in the aftermath of that election. And we're saying we've gone 7 rounds of those. Why not, for once, we listen to ourselves to say, since that constitution is directly responsible for every single thing we complain about, whether it's killings or corruption or impunity or even the one of mass impoverishment, because you can see that the politicians in government house are just taking everything for themselves, because the constitution also makes them unaccountable to you. So there's really nothing you can do than to lament about what they are doing with the Commonwealth, with the Treasury, with their powers. And so Ninas is inviting everybody who uh, who thinks that Nigeria is not working well to take only one step. Can you join those who say we can't go to renew the life of that constitution by going to election under it? Just say it. Don't say, if sufficient numbers of people will say it. The people who are here to help us, that's why they're discussing it in those terms, to say what kind of constitution put the gun in the hand of the Fulani man. You can't allow that constitution to stand there empowering the Fulani to kill, and you turn around to say you are going to vote in an election. You are going. We are not talking about boycott here, so that we make the difference. Some are thinking it's boycott, or if you don't vote, other people will vote. We are saying voting is in February or January of 2027. If in March, if in April of 2026, you come along with those who are already in to say this politician, all the political parties subscribe to this constitution without exception. PDP, APC, Labour Party, all of them subscribe to this constitution. All the politicians who are going to be contesting election subscribe to this constitution. The only people who are not part of that crime are the ones who will agree with us to say this constitution is the source of our problem. We are not going to renew the life of that constitution by going to election under it in 2027. That's all we have asked you to do. That's all we have asked those who are crying about everything they are crying about to do. If they refuse to do it, the people who are coming to help us, that's what we told them we're going to get them to do. The transition that will be in place of election is what we need to enact. There's nothing left to be done. Once we say we can't go, once we say we won't go, there's no other thing that will happen than a transition. We're not asking those in government house to leave. We're not anarchists. We have the plan is fully articulated for what will happen from that day. They will go and do what South Africa did with apartheid in 1990. That's all that will happen. And the outcome of it will be that the owners of the sovereignty, that's the 5-point proposition of Ninas, contains what will happen from what we have to insist that we can proceed on the basis of that constitution, pretending we have a democracy, pretending we have a union, pretending that it will get better tomorrow. No, that we stop now. We allow those in government house to remain while we go discuss what will become the replacement for that constitution. The alternative, in case anybody thinks we are going to be folding our hands and begging them, people who are being killed, people who are being shot and killed in the places where they're being killed, sooner than later they are going to take up guns, and because that constitution that used to restrict them is what we have defeated. Sooner than later, it will become disorderly. People are going to try to save their own lives by taking laws into their hands. Then it becomes Somalia. And so we're in a position to avoid that. Even if we go to this election, from what we have seen, you saw how the ruling party had decapitated all the other parties, which was what Abacha did before. They worked the other parties to death. So who is coming to compete with the people now? But you can overtake all of them by saying this constitution is what we reject. We're not going to election. They will be the ones looking for what will happen, because from the point of the collapse of that constitution, people can actually raise their flags and leave the union. The union is dead. It's just been enforced on account of the ignorance of those who do not know the status of that constitution and what it means to union. We have no union right now. If sufficient numbers of people will gather themselves, they can leave the union. But we don't want a disorder, because if one person is leaving and another one is leaving through the other door, it may become something criminals and even international actors will take advantage of and set fire to now take us back to where we've come out from. And so we're saying the simple thing to do is that 5-point proposition of Nina's spells out what has to happen. We are not going to election on account of our rejection of this constitution. If we do that, that is when the help that the US is offering us now can produce the outcome, because they will go after their own targets. They are not coming here to govern us. It is we that will reject that constitution. That's what they're expecting us to do. They've been expecting us to do that since 2019. Because we're not listening to ourselves, we are doing all the wrong things. Ninas is inviting us even now to tell the politicians that the election will not solve this problem. Let's go and deal with the constitution. Let's go to transition. Let's go to rework what will become the constitution by allowing the owners of the sovereignty for the first time to be the ones to decide. And if we're not doing that, the union stands dissolved. They must know that we can't carry on with the union of debt that Gumi and Sayed Abubakar are prescribing for us. I think that's where we want to wind it up today. It's within our reach to do. The US already listened in full, and they're expecting us to do what we need to do in rejecting that constitution, so that it becomes something that they will either stand with us or stand with the people who are using the constitution to cause the havoc that has brought them to town. It's as simple as that. Thank you for having me today.